Hello everyone and welcome back to Tish Does Travel. I really hope you've been enjoying the videos on the channel at the moment. I made it my mission in 2025 to really focus on this channel and start to grow it with pretty much everything I love, whether that's events, travels, or whether it's things that I've been enjoying at home, and that is another video that we're doing today. So about a week or 2 weeks ago I put a video on this channel all about wild garlic. I've gotten really into foraging recently and I made wild garlic pesto and also wild garlic butter, and I've been pickling some of the wild garlic buds as well, and we had some the other night with tinned fish and it was amazing. It was so good. But that's what we're focusing on again today. So next in the whole foraging list is going to be making honey and some syrups. Now when I say honey, you of course think bees, but this isn't from bees. This is actually from dandelions. I've seen a lot about this online, dandelion honey, and I want to have a go at doing it myself. And also I've been loving hot honey recently, so I thought, why don't we try and make like a hot honey from dandelions instead, which is brilliant if you're vegan, because this is actually vegan friendly. We're also going to make a couple of syrups out of flowers if we're able to find them. That's going to be a bit dependent on what we can forage and find, but that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. And if that sounds good, then please do keep watching. And if you like foraging, then make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I'm going to be doing a lot of it over on this channel, as well as some travel and lots of other things. So if that's up your street, then please do make sure you go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It's also very nearly elderflower season and I'm so excited. I love elderflower syrup so much. I made syrup last year, but I really want to make a few more things this year. So if you're into foraging and you're into your elderflower, let me know what your best recipes are down below. I know that you can actually make almost like a prosecco out of it, so maybe we'll try that this year. But if you want to see about dandelion honey, then please keep watching. Let's go foraging. I'm very sure that there's not going to be many people watching that don't really know where to find a dandelion, but really when you're looking for dandelions you want to look for big patches of grass. I mean, there's absolutely hundreds here. Now bees do absolutely love the dandelions, so it is a good idea not to pick dandelions where there isn't many there. So you want to find somewhere like this which has got absolutely hundreds of dandelions, and then that means that the bees won't miss them too much, is the idea. You can actually eat the leaves of dandelions as well. You can have them in salads, but today we're just going to pick the dandelions themselves. You do have to be quite quick with dandelions. Last year I wanted to do this and there was a big patch of dandelions, and then literally a couple days later they'd all already turned to seed. So you have to be quite quick if you want to catch them. I've just found a big patch of them where they've already gone to seed. And did anyone used to do this when they were younger? But you would blow the seeds, and however many blows it took you to blow them off, that meant what time it was, because I did this the other day and my other half had never done it, and I always used to do it when I was little. So it's 3 o'clock. Okay, I think I'm going to stop here. I think this should be enough dandelions to make quite a lot of dandelion honey. And if anyone still has reservations as to whether it can make honey, you just have to look at my fingers. Sorry, because this is I've got eczema on this hand, but my fingers are like covered in this like sticky yellow pollen, so I think it could possibly work. I don't fully know yet, this is my first time trying this, so let's get these dandelions home and make our honey. Despite my best efforts of giving them a shake, there's still quite a few little bugs in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to empty our dandelions into a bowl, and then I'm just going to soak these in some water. I might actually run them through a sieve, soak them in some water, and I'm actually just going to put a little bit of salt in the water as well, and that is going to help draw some of the bugs out of the dandelions. I have got my dandelions soaking in water here. However, I have made a little bit of a mistake. So I've just read online that you don't actually include the green parts. You can, but they can be a little bit bitter. So it's mostly just the petals that we want for our syrup or our honey. So in that case, it probably would have been a better idea to take the petals off whilst it's dry, because as you can see, it's a lot easier to do when it's dry than when it's wet. And then you can soak the petals to get the rest of the bugs off, which probably would have been the better way of doing it. But never mind, it's a bit too late for me, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attempt to get all the petals off. Well, that took me a lot longer than I expected. It actually took me about 2 hours. Definitely didn't help by the fact that they're now soggy, so it's really hard to separate. But we can finally start making some honey. So first of all, we're going to want to get 4 cups of the dandelion leaves, which hopefully that should be about right for 4 cups. Look at that, that is pretty spot on to be exactly 4 cups of dandelion leaves. And then you want to add 4 cups of water. That's 2. 2 and a bit. 3. And 4. You also want to add in 3 slices of lemon. And at the moment, as you can see, it's really, really thick. But once that's boiling, it will start to wilt the flowers. They'll reduce down. But what we want to do is we want to start by getting it onto the boil. So I'm going to pop it. Now that that's boiling, you can see there's quite a lot more liquid in it now. So don't be encouraged to put more water in, because it looks like there's too much water to the petals, but now that's kind of gotten hot, they've reduced down a lot. And we're going to take it off the boil and we're just going to literally pop it on for a simmer. So I'm going to change it to about 2. We're going to leave that to simmer, and that simmers for 30 minutes. Good morning, it's now the next day, and my dandelion concoction, the start of my dandelion honey, it's actually been sitting for about 10 hours now. It was supposed to be sitting for 6 hours, so you let it cool, leave it to kind of stew for 6 hours, and then you start the next process. But had I done that, it would have been the middle of the night. So I decided to leave it stewing overnight, and now it's the next morning and we need to strain it out. Instead, I'm gonna drain the liquid into this bowl. I'm not even gonna do with the sieve. I feel like that's gonna get in the way and make a bit of a mess. So I am literally just going to pour the liquid into this bowl. Get all your dandelion leaves in there, because there'll be a ton of moisture and flavour which is left in those. Okay, and then next step, obviously we just pour our liquid back in, and you're going to want to bring that to a slow boil. Once that's starting to boil, you want to go ahead and you want to add 2.5 cups of sugar. Mine's a bit lumpy, it's the jam sugar from last year. You want to add 2.5 cups of sugar gradually, dissolving it as you go. That might be a little bit difficult to do gradually with this being so chunky. I'll do about half at a time. Now, I haven't decided yet, but with my sugar, it's actually jam sugar with pectin. So this has got pectin in it, which essentially pectin helps to thicken jams. So I'm not too sure if I'm going to do the whole 2.5. The main problem is I don't want it to get too thick, and because my sugar does have pectin in, that is a little bit of a worry. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just 2 and a bit cups of this jam sugar with pectin. Now that's all dissolved and bubbling away nicely, we're just going to turn down the heat to a really low temperature, And we're just going to leave it for about an hour, wait for it to reduce right down, and then hopefully we will have some lovely syrupy honey. So with our dandelion honey beautifully reducing down, I thought we could go on a little walk and we could forage for the next thing that I'm going to make in this video, and that is gorse syrup. So you may not have heard of gorse. I think there's a couple of nicknames for it. I know one of them's whin. I can't remember what the other one is. But you may have smelt it when you've been out and about or on walks, because it has this kind of nutty coconut smell. I'll show you when we get to the plant, but essentially what we're going to do is, this is lovely as a cordial and you can make it for drinks. So yeah, that's what we're going to forage next, and I'll show you when I find it. This is the gorse flower right here. So when it's young and not quite come out, it's this purpley colour, and then as it comes out, it's this yellow colour, and it almost has a scent of coconut, and apparently it tastes like toasted almonds, which is really nice. As you can see, it's on these really sticky branches, so we've got to be careful when we're actually collecting it. And we're kind of just looking for these ones, which are the flowers which have just started to come out. And I did read online that the best time to forage for gorse is to do it in the morning, so when it's been nice and sunny, because it kind of holds in all the essential oils, and then later on in the day when it gets hot, those essential oils tend to burn off. So we are going to go ahead and we're going to collect plenty of this to make a syrup. When it comes to foraging, something you've got to be really careful about is not getting some plants confused with others, because as you can see, there's some yellow plants behind me now, but these aren't actually the gorse flowers. These are something completely different, and I'll show you because they look very, very similar. So this is actually called broom, and there is a difference between this and the gorse that we've just been picking. You can actually see the gorse just behind it there, so it's slightly darker, and it also sits on the spiky branches. Now this broom, this is part of the sweet pea family, and this is not edible by humans. And as you can see, the leaves that it's on are not spiky. So that's something to be very aware of. And I have just noticed from looking around here that up there is the first sign of elderflower. So that's the first lot of elderflower, which is very exciting. Okay, so we've collected quite a few flowers. I'm not going to lie, my fingers hurt a little bit now. I've pricked myself quite a few times, and I think this should be enough to make a syrup. So let's head back and yeah, get our syrup on the go. I'm home and I'm just soaking my gorse now to try and get out any little bugs that may still be living in there. I did find a couple. I've also picked out little bits of the green bits as well, and I weighed it. So we've got 100 grams of the gorse flower. The recipe that I found online is for about 60 grams. So what we're going to do is we're just going to slightly double the recipe, not quite, and hopefully that works out. You're also supposed to use orange and lime, I guess, to give you a little bit of a tropical flavour, with these being coconutty. I don't have lime and orange, and I'll be honest, I'm not going to go to the shops, so I'm just going to do it with the rest of the lemon that we used from the dandelion honey, and we're just going to see what we can do. I am wondering whether it's a bit early in the season for these anyway. Most of my flowers are kind of closed up. A lot of the flowers that I've seen online where people make syrups out of them, they are all opened up. So we will see. There is a faint smell of coconut, but there's not a huge scent to it, so I'm wondering whether it is going to work, but we're just going to trial and error. So I am going to go ahead and finish soaking these, and then I'm going to put them into a saucepan with some water, some sugar, and also some lemon zest. Quite easy to follow. The recipe that I said 600 millilitres of water to 60 grams of gorse flowers. So because we've got 100 grams of gorse flowers, I am going to go for 1 litre of water. By the same measurements, it was saying 300 grams of sugar to the 60 grams of gorse flowers. So because we've got 100 grams of gorse flowers, we are going to go 500 grams of sugar. And the same with the dandelion honey, so we're going to want to add this a little bit at a time and make sure that it's properly melted in. And yes, this does always look like a horrifying amount of sugar, but that is usually the case with syrups and jams. And you do have to remember that, of course, you're not drinking this just as it is. So when you drink this, you're going to be adding it to a little bit of water, or to sparkling water, soda water, a little bit of lemonade. So it's not quite as scary as this sugar makes it look. As I mentioned, it did say in the recipe to use oranges and limes, which I'm sure would give it a really nice tropical flavour. But I don't have those, so we are just going to go for a classic lemon. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to zest a lemon, and also I've just put a couple of lemon slices in there as well. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to add the flowers. Now we're going to remove that from the heat, and we're actually going to cover that up and let that sit for about 6 hours. And I'm just about to go and have my hair done, and quite dramatically I think I'm having it chopped off and going blonde. So the next time you see me in this video, when hopefully I'll be trying a couple of the things that I've made, I'm probably going to look a little bit different. This has been bubbling away for a little bit over an hour. I don't think I had it quite hot enough, first of all. It is now starting to form a little bit of like a yellowy substance on top. I think it's done, and I don't want to burn it or overcook it. I'm just going to test the consistency. I'm going to get some out, and I've got a cold plate here. And we're going to see how honey-like it should be once it's set. Wow, look at that. I think that's pretty spot on, don't you? So I'm going to go ahead and take it off the heat now. But I'm happy with that. Right, let's go ahead and sterilise our glasses. These jars have come out of the oven. They're very, very hot, and I'm about to pour my honey. Now, please don't judge me. I don't have a metal funnel, which is something that I really, really need to get, especially if I don't want to be making a huge amount of mess. But we don't have one of those, so unfortunately we're just going to have to go for a free pour and hope for the best. Don't forget, I am going to split this between 2 jars because I still want to make my hot honey out of one of these. Like I said, a little bit of a shock. My hair is very different. It's actually a couple of days later now, and we are going to finish off the last of our recipes. So we've got our syrup is finished, our honey and our hot honey is finished, and the last thing we're going to do is with some of our leftover petals from the dandelions. So I have got the last of the petals here, and I saw a lovely recipe on I think it's called the UK Wild Food Larder. It's a Facebook page, and somebody says here, it says dandelion bliss balls. So this was on the UK Food Larder Facebook page, and a lovely lady posted it on here, and they're called dandelion bliss balls. I think it's her own recipe. So we've got desiccated coconut, dandelion flowers, or just the petals, lemon, rice syrup. It says rice syrup or sweetener of your choice, and actually we are going to go for dandelion honey, and then just 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, just blended together. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do that sweet little treat for the last thing that we're going to make with our dandelions. This recipe is super, super simple. So we literally just need 120 grams of desiccated coconut. So I'm going to go ahead and measure that out. So into the blender, I've put 120 grams of desiccated coconut. And then also we've got our 12 dandelion flowers. I think that's actually probably a little bit more than 12. And then it says that you want to juice and zest half of an organic lemon. And then you want 50 to 80 grams of our dandelion honey, which is here. And then 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. So pop everything into a blender and mix. So very, very simple. And that is our dandelion honey that I've made recently, and pop that in there. This is quite sweet, so I'm going to go for 50 grams. I very nearly forgot my coconut oil, so we're just going to pop that in there now. mixture and roughly whiz up. Just going to shape it together a little bit, roll it in that coconut with a little bit of the dandelion. Then these go in the fridge to set for 20 minutes. So there we have it. Here is all my goodies that I've made over the last few days using the dandelions and also the little flowers as well. This is kind of a haul of everything in front of me. So we have got the coconut dandelion bliss balls, we have got the syrup, and we've also got the honey and the hot honey. Now, in terms of what I kind of rate these are absolutely beautiful, these little bliss balls. They are so yummy. They taste like a little summery dessert, and I love coconut, so that's right up my street. As we know with this syrup, I was supposed to use orange and also use lime, and I used lemon instead, and I think the lemon was a little bit overpowering. So it has a faint flavour, but there's quite a lot of flavour coming from the lemons instead. So if I was to do this again, I'd use the lime and the orange, and also I would wait until they were in bloom a little bit. I couldn't smell coconut that much, so I think if I waited a little bit later on in the year or in the month, when they started to sort of bloom out a little bit more, I think that would have been a tiny bit more fragrant. But when it comes to the honey, so we've got the regular honey here, which is probably a little bit looser than I would have liked, but that's been really, really yummy. But this is the hot honey that I made, so that's got chilies in it. And this is amazing. Also, because I fried it off with the chilies, it's also a little bit thicker as well. It's like the perfect honey texture. This was absolutely amazing. We actually had this on some rice and chicken, sort of Korean style with some spring onion on top, and that was amazing. So I'm so impressed with that, and it really does have that kind of honey flavour. So this has been my favourite thing that I've made. The hot honey is definitely my top favourite. But overall, I'm really, really pleased with another haul of things that I made that I literally found in my garden and on my doorstep. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Have you ever made anything with dandelions? Let me know what your favourite recipe is down below. If you've enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Until next time guys, see you later.